You stop at a tea stall, order a cup of tea, scan a QR code, tap pay, and before you even put your phone back in your pocket, payment successful. Less than 2 seconds. Simple. Effortless. But have you ever wondered what actually happened during those 2 seconds? Did your money really travel directly to the shopkeeper's bank? Or did it take a much more fascinating journey? Today, we're going to follow a single Rs20 payment and uncover one of India's greatest engineering achievements. To understand why UPI is revolutionary, we first need to understand the problem it solved. Years ago, every bank built its own way of sending and receiving money. Each system worked, but every bank communicated differently. Now, imagine hundreds of banks trying to connect with one another. As more banks joined, the number of connections kept increasing, making the system harder to build, harder to maintain, and much harder to scale. India didn't just need a faster payment system, it needed a completely different way for banks to communicate. Imagine every bank speaks a different language. One bank speaks Hindi, another speaks English, another speaks Tamil, another speaks Bengali. If every bank had to understand every other bank, they would spend more time building connections than actually moving money. And as new banks joined the network, the complexity would only keep growing. Clearly, there had to be a better solution. That solution came in the form of NPCI. Instead of every bank talking to every other bank now talks to one common platform. Think of NPCI as the traffic controller of India's payment system. It doesn't keep your money. It doesn't own your bank account. It simply makes sure every payment reaches the correct destination quickly, securely, and reliably. One connection, one standard, hundreds of banks. But connecting every bank to NPCI wasn't enough. They also needed to speak the same language. NPCI created a common set of rules and APIs that every participating bank follows. Now, instead of building hundreds of custom integrations, each bank only needs to integrate once with the UPI standard. That single decision made it possible for any UPI app to work with almost any bank in the country. And now, our Rs20 payment is ready to begin its journey. You open your favorite UPI app, enter Rs20, authenticate using your UPI PIN or biometric, and tap Pay. At that exact moment, your app securely creates a payment request and sends it to your bank. Your bank performs the first set of security checks and forwards the request into the UPI network. The journey has officially begun. Now the request reaches NPCI. Within milliseconds, NPCI identifies the correct receiving bank. It verifies where the money needs to go, routes the payment request, and forwards it securely to the destination. Notice what NPCI is doing. It isn't moving money itself. It's intelligently directing traffic, so every payment reaches exactly where it should. Next, let's see what happens when the request finally reaches the receiver's bank. The payment request has now reached the receiver's bank, but the bank doesn't credit the money immediately. First, it performs its own verification. Is this a valid UPI request? Is the destination account active? Can this account receive money? Has this transaction already been processed? Only after all these checks are successful, does the receiver's bank credit Rs20 to the account. To you, this feels instant. But behind the scenes, multiple security checks have already happened in just a fraction of a second. Here's something most people never think about. You might be using Google Pay. The shopkeeper might be using PhonePe. Someone else might prefer BHIM or Paytm. Yet every one of these apps works with almost every bank in India. How? Because none of these apps connect directly to every bank. Instead, they all speak the same UPI standard through NPCI. That's why you can use almost any UPI app with almost any participating bank. Different apps, different banks, one common language. By now, everything has happened. Your bank has verified the request. NPCI has routed it. The receiver's bank has credited the money. Success confirmations travel back through the network. Within roughly 2 seconds, both phones display the same message: payment successful. To us, it feels like one simple tap, but in reality, multiple systems have worked together almost perfectly before you even look back at your phone. With lower third scene label. But what happens if the internet drops? Or a bank responds slowly? Does your money disappear? Thankfully, no. UPI is designed to expect failures. If a response doesn't arrive in time, the system checks the transaction status before trying again. This prevents duplicate payments and ensures the same transaction isn't processed twice. In distributed systems, this reliability is just as important as speed. That's why UPI continues to work, even when something unexpected happens. Here's another surprising fact. Even after you receive the success message, the work isn't completely finished. Behind the scenes, banks still reconcile their records. They verify that every debit matches a credit. Later, the actual movement of funds between banks is settled through the banking system. This process happens quietly in the background. You never notice it. But it's one of the reasons the entire ecosystem remains accurate, balanced, and trusted every single day. So far, we've followed one Rs20 payment. We've followed just one Rs20 payment. Now, let's zoom out. Every single day, millions of people across India buy tea, pay for groceries, book cabs, shop online, and transfer money to family and friends. Each payment may seem small, but together, they create one of the world's largest real-time payment networks. What started as a simple way to send money has become the digital payment backbone of an entire nation. Let's replay the entire journey. One last time, you tap Pay. Your app securely sends the request to your bank. Your bank verifies your identity and balance. NPCI finds the correct destination and routes the request. The receiver's bank verifies everything, credits the money, and sends confirmation back. In just a couple of seconds, multiple independent systems work together, as if they were one. That is the real beauty of UPI. Sana, the real breakthrough wasn't making payments faster. It was creating one common platform where hundreds of banks, thousands of applications, and billions of transactions could work together reliably. That's why today, you don't think about which bank the other person uses. You simply scan, tap, and pay. When technology becomes so simple that people stop noticing the engineering behind it, that's when you know it's truly revolutionary. Visual. The next time you scan a QR code, remember, you're not just sending Rs20, you're using one of the world's most sophisticated real-time payment systems, built in India and trusted by millions every single day. If you enjoyed discovering how modern systems actually work, subscribe to Debug with Dorjee, because behind every app you use, there's an incredible engineering story waiting to be uncovered. I'll see you in the next one.